Hi, this is Mrunal Thakur, and today I'm shooting for GlobalSpa at the Western Himalayas.
So, Mrunal, it's so good to have you with us today. I hope you've enjoyed the shoot. We've had a great time shooting with you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. In fact, the moment I got here, and the room and the view, the mountains, to wake up to the mountains, it's
Wow.
just so beautiful. And I love Indian outfits, dressing up. So this was a nice concept where it's a in like modern bride. So yeah, I really enjoyed. I had fun.
Good. I'm so glad you loved it. So, you've transitioned from TV to movies to Telugu to Hindi. Tell us what has been the most challenging part of this transition for you.
That every day you have to begin from literally nowhere, start from zero. Because when I went to the Telugu industry and I started, my first scene, I was so underconfident. I was so scared and nervous whether I'll be able to deliver the scene and dialogue or not. But the best thing is that I love the fact that it's when even at the age of 30 I got I did Telugu debut. Now next year I may be doing Tamil debut, and I have this I love learning new languages, so there's always scope to learn, get better, and what's the point of just living a monotonous life? I know sometimes you do feel like scared and underconfident, but then eventually everything, it's just nerve-wracking like first week, and then everything gets easier.
But you're doing a great job, anyways.
Thank you.
So, when we spoke 3 years ago, you told me that you want to work hard towards creating a legacy in the industry.
Yes.
How is it going towards achieving that?
Small differences, like small changes. For example, a lot of people, when I did an episode for Zoya called Made in Heaven 2, and earlier they were really surprised that, oh, why are you just doing an episode? You should do an entire series. But I think the times have changed. OTT platforms have come. I think today what matters is what is the content that you're shooting for, and people should know you for those roles that you've played. Like, honestly, I never really wanted to play those flower pot roles, and I'm at least trying to change that, because right now when there are roles written and when I meet the writers and the directors, when they narrate and they tell me that, Mrunal, we specially wrote this part thinking about you, and we really want you to play that. And the impact, also the kind of impact my characters have had on the people, on the audience. Maybe it will take me more time. Legacy is not formed in like 2 years or 3 years. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of time. So I just hope one day I'm able to, people should know me for the kind of work that I've done, not just because I look pretty or I look glamorous, or I did some really romantic, sensual scenes. I just don't want to be known for that.
Well, you're in the right direction, so
Hope so.
that's great. So, what's the best compliment that you've ever received after a film?
This was in Melbourne, at the Melbourne Indian Film Festival. After watching Love Sonia, there's this couple who was in their late 60s, and they came to me and they said, "You reminded me of Smita Patilji."
Oh, that's a lovely
And
compliment.
I was howling, I was crying. I was like, I can't tell you, you've made my day, my year, my everything. So, and I am a big fan of Smita ji. So, getting that was a big deal for me.
Yeah. So, doing films in different languages, have you had a problem with understanding the language, talking about it? Must have been challenging.
It is, but trust me now, I think I give the credit to my father, because of him, I was able to travel. I've changed 11 schools because he was a banker. We kept moving one city to another. That also allowed me to adapt really quick. I can speak different types of Marathis today, because Kolhapur they speak different, Vidarbh they speak different, Mumbai they speak different Marathi, in Pune they speak different Marathi. So I think that when I was growing up, so I feel like that was my my workshop started when I was a baby.
That's true.
So it is challenging, but I once you start hanging out with the locals, it gets really easier.
Yeah, I think moving around gives you a larger perspective.
Perspective,
Gives
yeah.
you a larger perspective. I mean, to some extent, you don't make too many friends, I guess, but you also make lots of friends.
Yeah, I have best friend from every city
Yeah,
now.
so that's good. So you work with a variety of co-stars, right? From Hrithik Roshan to Dalki. Which is the actor that you feel that you have been most comfortable with?
Fortunately, touch wood, I've been comfortable with all of them. And to have begun my career with Hrithik, then John, to Shahid, then Farhan, Karthik, and then in the south it was Dulkar and Nani Garu. I think they all, if they're like my, this fingers, they all came together, supported me. They made sure that my performance is always the best. They'll always help me out. So I'm really blessed to have such lovely co-stars. I mean, not even a single day on set I felt like, what am I doing? Why? No. In fact, they are so inspiring, everyone, and there's so much to learn. Like, I'm not trying to be diplomatically right, but I genuinely had a great experience, and these are the experiences from each movie set that I cherish, even today. Like, I was so happy in Love Sonia, I had such crazy and talented star cast, to begin with Manoj sir, to Frida, to Demi Moore and Mark Duplass. It was just insane.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely
pretty awesome.
blessed.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I learned a lot from Hrithik, because that was also time I was transitioning from television to films. So when the way Hrithik would treat the scenes, and I was completely in awe of that process, because the amount of hard work that he puts in, and it shows also, because Anand's character that he played was really tough, and that I started implementing in all my characters. Same from Farhan as well. I think Dulkar was somebody who helped me ease out a bit, because I was really like, I need to be prepped, I need to be ready. He's like, just go with the flow. Like Irfan sir said, you can't be prepared so much, just enjoy the moment, just take the light. If you're drinking something, feel the taste, and just surrender. So that's what I learned from all my co-actors, and it was just lovely. I feel like I don't know what I would do if it was not them.
So is there any actor that you're aspiring to work with on your wish list?
There's so many. I was really heartbroken when Irfan sir left me, because he is somebody I worship, and Amitabh sir, I would really like to share screen space with him. Even Tabu ma'am, Rani ma'am, Kajol. Oh my God,
You have a long
it's
list.
a long
Well,
list.
you have a long way to go. Hopefully
And if it is a romantic film, it has to be Shah Rukh Khan,
I
of
knew
course.
it. I knew that.
That's like mandatory, and it goes
Yeah.
without saying.
Right. So it'll happen, I'm sure. Manifest it. So how do you deal with criticism? And because that's something that happens all the time in this line. How do you deal with it?
Can I be honest, or can I be diplomatic?
Honest.
Well, it does affect me a lot, but I find my way. I'm like, sometimes there are days where I don't want to give a damn about it, but then there are days where I'm like really low, and eventually I'm also a human.
Yeah.
Criticism when it comes to work, I take it very positively, because I want to improve, I want to get better. But there are different types of criticism where let's not get into, because
Yeah,
I'll be like really sad and low.
So you've played a lot of romantic roles.
Yes.
And you've been called the queen of romance. Do you find any parallels between those characters and your real life?
That's a tough question. Up to some extent. And I think I heard a lot of actresses have said that one of the reasons why they are still single today is because Shah Rukh sir has set the benchmark so high. The benchmark is it's so romantic in the movies. See, I'm a very romantic person, but I think I only get to do that in the movies, in the scenes. इन रियल लाइफ में लोगों के पास इतना वक्त नहीं होता है और ना ही वो इतने थॉटफुल होता है और बहुत लाइक हजारों में से कोई एक मिलेगा आपको हु इज
सो या रियल लाइफ में बहुत फर्क होता है.
बहुत फर्क होता है.
सो हाउ वुड यू कंपेयर द तेलुगु फिल्म इंडस्ट्री एंड द हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री?
In terms of shooting?
In terms of shooting, in terms of the style of working?
Oh, it's absolutely different. Earlier I thought it's the same, but shooting pattern is different. The approach towards the scenes are different. But it's different on every set, not necessarily. I can't compare a Hindi and a Telugu. I mean, two Hindi films are also so different. It totally depends on how the director wants to take it, how he wants to shoot, how he wants to go ahead with it. Like in Telugu, we spend a lot of all my films, all 3 films, it was approximately 100 to 120 days that we shot.
Okay.
Over a span of say 1.5 year, or Sita Ramam went a little longer because COVID was there. But in Hindi, I have finished films in say 40 days, 50 days in one sked, and it's just quick. But in Telugu, it's like aram se the treatment is such. But at the same time, obviously the languages are different.
Right.
I have to work 3 times more in Telugu because my process starts from translating it in English to my mother tongue, which is not Hindi, it is Marathi. Apart from that, everything is pretty much the same.
Great. So what are the new projects that you have coming up in Hindi and in Telugu?
So the project that I can talk about is Son of Sardar 2. It's an out-and-out comedy, and we all have seen part 1, and this part 2 is going to be even more hilarious. And I had so much fun because I have never been a part of a comedy film. Then the other 2 films, I wish I could talk about, but I'm not allowed to.
Oh, we'll wait to hear about
Yes.
it. Yeah. So you're working with the visionary director Sanjay Leela Bhansali. I'm sure it's a dream come true. Can you tell us something more about that project and how it feels?
This is the same project that I'm not supposed to talk about.
So we are then one step ahead.
Oh, yeah, you guys are one step ahead, but bravo, hats off to your homework. But having said that, I absolutely adore Sanjay sir and his work, the music, and I'm just so happy to just even have a conversation with him. You know, just to be able to sit in front of him, just have a cup of coffee and discuss films and discuss songs. It was lovely. It was a great. The first time I met him, it was a lovely conversation. And who doesn't want to be a part of his, universe and be his heroine? But this film is the one that he's producing. And I'm really looking forward to the announcement, which is going to happen anytime soon.
Okay.
We've finished filming the film, and just some interesting, one song is left, which is really interesting. So I can't wait for you all to first wait for the announcement, and it's going to be amazing. Keeping fingers crossed.
Well, maybe we'll be announcing it first. If the issue comes out before.
Yeah, but
your official announcement.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming to travel.
Yes.
You love to travel. Tell us, what is the most adventurous and spontaneous trip you have ever taken?
Oh my God. I remember when I was filming Love Sonia, this was the first time in my life I traveled to America. I landed in LA and I was like, I can't just go back. I have to explore. I immediately booked myself a ticket to Miami. But before that, I went to meet a friend of mine who was in Arizona. So from LA, it was actually Rajasthan to Mumbai to Hong Kong to LA to Arizona to Miami. And I was supposed to board the cruise, which was going to Bahamas. But eventually I didn't get on that because I was really scared, and because of some emergency I had to come back home. But I have never traveled in my life for this long and from one continent to another.
To the other.
That was quite a bit.
So a career like yours is got a lot of stress. How do you manage your wellness in a situation like this?
That's when we do shoots with GlobalSpa and just unwind.
Okay.
Because this is literally like a breather for me, you know, in the middle of film shoot or a hectic schedule. This just allows us, see, we end up doing our work. Also, what I do is when I'm traveling for work, I take 3 days or 4 days holidays if I can, and I just stay back because sometimes, see, like last film that I shot, which was in Edinburgh, I never thought I would ever go to Edinburgh, but I ended up spending like almost 1.5, 2 months there, and that was only because I was shooting for a movie. Otherwise, I'd never go. So I just stay back. I explore the city. I get to know the people, and I was lucky enough last time to be a part of to witness Fringe Festival. So I met so many artists there. There's so many performances, and like my last shoot, I remember it was in Uttarakhand. So I just stayed back in Uttarakhand.
So, do you have any hobbies that indulge in other than acting and?
Yeah, I'll tell you the recent ones. It keeps changing. So like before I flew to Edinburgh, I was more into propagating plants. I make sure that I propagate plants and I gift it to my friends. Now I have picked up embroidery. I really love doing, different types of stitches or embroidery. If there is a tablecloth, I would like right now. I'm trying to do.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a drying art. Hardly anybody is doing
And it's so
embroidery.
therapeutic, like what if tomorrow I have to do a role where I have to do embroidery? So you should always be
Yeah,
prepared.
they say knitting is the best stress buster.
Buster, it is.
So, you've been open about your experience with therapy. Tell us something about it.
I think it's very important. Therapy, you mean yeah. Well, look, also the profession that I am in, we deal with so many characters who may be positive, who may be happy, but sometimes they have like gray shades to it, and it's really important for us to unwind. I should not give this gyan because I haven't been taking therapy and I haven't been, a regular. But I think it's really important, and in India especially, because when I have my friends who lives in America, they are very, very, very particular about their therapy, their timing. They won't miss a session. And sometimes what happens, we end up meeting people who would state their opinions as facts. Like they'll just slam it on your face and be like, okay, this is a fact. No, this is an opinion, and that's where conversation plays a very important role. I think we need to learn all those things. We need to work on what are those things that we need to, like we could be better. Also, I have realized in this conversation, it's so tough these days. It could be with anyone.
Right.
And when there is a disagreement in a conversation, people feel like it's an argument. We often mistake those terms. So I think when I started taking therapy is when I realized that a person who cannot have a conversation feels like every disagreement is an argument.
That's true.
So what I have to do is I just have to calm down, because therapy is also like understanding that even if that person is wrong, you cannot be like fighting with that person, because I was that kind of person who always wanted to prove that I'm right.
It's not sound like that. You sound to be very calm. Maybe it's the therapy.
Maybe now.
It's
I
the
wasn't
therapy.
like this when I was younger. I would always like, I'm right. This is my, I'm going to be like firm and I'm not going to bend, and this is what it is. But today I feel like, ठीक है, whatever you feel, calm, okay, whatever it is, chalo, ठीक है.
So, would you like to give any advice to people who are going through, struggling with their mental wellness?
It's all going to be okay, just take one step at a time. Like everyone has got low days, they go through this ups and downs. We may not, and today is the world where, we spend a lot of time on social networking sites where everyone appears to be happy and everything is perfect. No, it's not. Things are not perfect. Everybody is not happy. People say that I want to be happy, but I feel like it is more important for you to be at peace. Because if you are at peace, then you will be able to enjoy it. So just take it slow. You got this. There are days where I feel like I am low on confidence. Everyone feels that, and it's absolutely normal.
So, if you had a day free with nothing to do, what would you do?
Just watch movies because I love watching movies. I can watch four, five films without moving.
Wow, couch potato.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you do for your wellness to stay fit, to keep yourself happy and looking great? What do you do for your own?
So I am somebody who's a very impatient person. Like, I like exploring new things. In terms of workout, I like going to the gym, but it can get a bit boring. So I include mixed martial arts, MMA I do with my trainer Rohit. Then I do Pilates. Then I am also learning a dance form which is belly dance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like 2 years ago I was learning Kathak and now I'm learning belly dance. So it's a good, I like challenging myself. And when it comes to wellness, I do like taking massages, and also physios are very, because also the work, it's so hectic that sometimes I have knots, and sometimes there's some or the other pain, so you have to go to your physio. Most of the people think that it's the bone that they need to see an orthopedic, but no, they need to see a sports physio.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, how has been your stay at the Western Rishikesh?
Oh, it's lovely. I can see the mountains, and I can see the Ganga, and there are lovely birds who come. Like in the morning, there was the chirping, and it was just so quiet and peaceful. In the night, when I went back to sleep, I was like, "This is so quiet. I'm scared now," because in Mumbai we are so used to that some or the other awaz is happening, noise is happening. So I was like, this is really like, it just calms you down.
Yes,
and it's important to, like, once in a blue moon you should just visit such properties, and I really enjoy the food also.
Yeah, the food is good over
Yes,
here for sure.
talking about food.
So, tell me 3 things that you love about GlobalSpa.
The fact that we can travel, the fact that we can experiment with the looks, and the fact that I get to do an interview with you.
So sweet. That is so sweet.
Yes.
So that's all for today, and hopefully we'll be back with you again next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Keeping fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.